What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Fight Library. Today is episode 214 and soon 215 for the podcast, guys. We don't number on YouTube, though. Yeah, today we're talking boxing on the next episode, but this episode is about mixed martial arts, and you want to listen about that because Jose Aldo won last night, and that's really cool. I'm your host, Blaine Henry, and UFC Vegas 44. Before we get into this episode, show me how much you love me. That was weird. Show me how much you love me. Follow me on Twitter, Blaine Henry TFL. Every now and then that thing pops up on somewhere. Right there. Yeah, it's backwards on my camera, so my hands get mixed up. Anyways, follow me there, Blaine Henry TFL, where you can tweet at me and say, hey, I got you from YouTube or Rockfin or podcast. Just communicate. I like talking to my people because y'all are awesome. Or if you want to support me even more, if you want to be an even bigger boy, Patreon. $5 a month, you get access to the whole website. And Monday, which is tomorrow, we've got a career rewatch with Khabib Nurmagomedov. We are going over the Thiago Tavares fight. You can catch up on the past ones, the Gleason Tebow and the Kamal Shalorus fights. We broke those down in in-depth detail. $5 a month. It's worth it. Very much so. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into the show. Jose Aldo versus Rob Font. That's why everybody's here. Because Jose Aldo is awesome. I said in Before Math, which you can go and read on Rockfin, I said on it that for Rob Font to win, we've seen with Volkanovski, with Petr Yan, and with Max Holloway, you've got to fluster Jose Aldo. Okay, you've got to be very, very high volume. And Jose Aldo kind of wilts in those situations, right? And we saw that in this fight. We saw Aldo, especially early on, we saw him like struggling with the volume of Rob Font. Rob Font comes with a lot of jabs. He moves, he feints a lot. He's very, very seldom still. So Font came out, he employed the game plan that he needed to employ. And then at the end of the first round, bam, Aldo knocks him down. We forget Aldo can hit. He can crack, right? At bantamweight, it's probably even more so. Ooh, it was rough. So he survives, and cool. So Font is hurt now. He comes out round 2, and it's kind of the same thing. More volume again. And it was really weird moment. I think Rob Font punched the thigh of Jose Aldo in the second round. Go back and watch that, because if he did, I want to hear about it because it's funny. Another 1-2 from Aldo though, and Font's wobbled. So it's like, oh my gosh, how hard does Jose Aldo hit? Very hard. And that was pretty much the whole thing. But this time, Font he fires back with urgency, which I like seeing from him. He needed to do that because otherwise Jose Aldo's just going to come and pour it on. Font tried to take down, and we got to see some grappling of Jose Aldo, which was really cool because he's very good on the ground, but we never get to see it. Font was looking for a sweep for the Kimura, didn't quite get it. Lots of playing on the ground, though, in that second round, or the third round, I should say. Or the second round, I'm sorry. Third round, the corner says, hey, I tweet, hey, needs to kick more. And his corner says, hey, you should kick. And sure enough, the first 2 or 3 kicks Jose Aldo lands on Rob Font, it's like, oh, I'm falling over. Also, Gary, I know you're listening. Don't make fun of my tweets. Don't. Or I'll have to send the English after you. And this time, it won't be a Braveheart situation. Just letting you know. I know you're listening, Gary. And if you're not, I'm going to clip this, and I'm going to send it to you on Twitter. Yeah, so think about that next time. Blaine's covering all his bases. You know what? We're going to fight, bro. We going to fight. So, yeah. Leg kicks from Jose Aldo. It was great. Really awesome. Fonte's getting reckless, and then Aldo, he lands a left and a right hook that hurts Font again. Knee to the body drops him and more ground play. Round 5, Font's throwing super heavy. He's out of his game plan. And I get it. You're down 3-4 rounds. You got to get a win. 1-2, beautiful lands from Font in that round. You can go check that out. But Aldo's tired. So when you're cutting weight, it's interesting to see how well Aldo's done at 35, because when you're cutting weight, you're more tired. We saw that last week with Teofimo Lopez. He was tired because he's been cutting too much weight, he said. So we see that with Aldo in the 5th round, and Font's kind of doing his thing. He's landing big, but Aldo, he lands a haymaker and wobbles Font again. Aldo gets on the back. He gets to a choke, but Font turns into it. Yeah, good fight overall. I was really, really, it was fun. It was a super fun fight because it's just like, why do you not like seeing Aldo win? You know what I mean? It's the guy's a legend. So Rob Font back to the drawing board. I said on Before Math. Oh, I forgot to talk about the body work of Jose Aldo. It was great throughout the whole fight. There's not many fighters in the UFC you'll see that consistently goes to the body, and Jose Aldo is one of those fighters that does it and does it well. Probably the best in UFC, if you want to be honest. You got Petr Yan, Max Holloway does it well. Basically, all those guys that Jose Aldo is and fought. So yeah, I enjoyed watching Jose Aldo win. The good thing about I'm gonna circle back a little bit here because I got ahead of myself. But like with the leg kicks, talking about Rob Font, it was weird because like Font's coming with all this volume. I really wanted to talk about this. It was a big deal. Font's coming with all this volume, and Aldo's like struggling to keep up with it. And as soon as Jose Aldo lands the first leg kick, Font's volume stops. It changes completely how he fights. It was insane. Like that. Just the first leg kick. It didn't take much. Aldo is crippling with these leg kicks, especially against these skinny minis at 135 when he's used to fighting Frankie Edgar, who was the 55 champion. And then his body work, that slows you down too. That taxes your cardio. Now, Font, he kept going, and Aldo was the less fresh fighter at the end of the night. But at the same time, like that kept Font, it tired him out a little bit. It kept him from really running away with that 5th round and possibly winning the fight, finishing Aldo, because it was close. So yeah, great fight. I really liked that one. Rafael Fiziev and Brad Riddell co-main event was really fun. They both had weird hair. It was like Fiziev had this top knot, and then Riddell had this slick back Cali style. So yeah, Brad Riddell was the original trainer at Tiger Muay Thai, and he left his job. He's at City Kickboxing now, and Rafael Fiziev took his job. They're good friends still. So yeah, so Fiziev comes out and he's very Taekwondo-like. Lots of kicks, lots of just banging to the body, to the legs, going at the head. None of them land, but they eventually will, right? You keep throwing them in, either you'll lose or you'll win. So Fiziev throwing, and he's really effective with it. And everything Rafael does is like very, very precise. Like he's textbook when he strikes. Now we didn't see that in the Bobby Green fight because he tired himself out. But this fight, he really comes in, and I talked about it in our last podcast, our preview for 44. Fiziev needs to show restraint. He came in here, he showed restraint, and it was great. Round 2, they come out banging again. This is like just a fun fight. It's a completely different Fiziev, though, because in the second round, I'm like, oh, he's reserved. He's taking his time. And he did that. Round 3, he's coming out for reserve. He's fresh, and Riddell looked like the much more tired fighter. Riddell was coming. He was pushing the pace. Fiziev was constantly like, oh, I'm here to counter. I'm looking for the check hook, and he landed quite a few of them. Finally, Riddell starts shooting for the legs because he can't do anything with Fiziev on the feet. Spinning wheel kick lands for Fiziev. It was absolutely gorgeous. Just landed on the cheek of Brad Riddell. And Riddell, falls. It looks like he's trying to call a timeout. And ref calls the fight off. Good job. Rafael Fiziev wins in round 3. Brendan Allen, a guy from Louisiana, shout out, versus Chris Curtis, a guy I really like, shout out. Awesome fight. So Allen comes in, and he's putting on pressure with Chris Curtis. I think Allen was taking notes from the Phil Hawes fight. And, Curtis is just great, man. He's one of my favorites that's on the roster right now. Simply for the fact that he's just crisp with his boxing. The dude's got great boxing. He's fun. He's tough. He's a crafty old man. Let's be real. He's 35. It's not really old, but he's a crafty old man. So Curtis gets taken down. It's really weird. He jumped up as Allen was in on the single leg, and he got slammed, but he didn't die. But did you die? So he ends up getting up. Allen, he's holding his own on the feet, actually. Very varied in his strikes, kicks, body work up top, hooks, jabs, all that. He was really good. And then you can see Curtis is setting up something, so he goes to the body with a lead hook. He's starting to get the hands low of Brendan Allen. That pays off. Awesome. Another kind of thing that Brendan Allen was doing, coming in with lead elbows. He showed he's a grappler first, and he showed that he's getting better on the feet, and I really liked what I saw from Brendan Allen on the feet there. It was really an interesting showing for him, even though he lost. So Curtis is starting to land cleaner and cleaner, and Allen's getting wilder. It's like, this fight's getting away from Brendan Allen, isn't it? He shoots the takedown, and Curtis starts to get up, and then Allen pulls guard and gets a heel hook, or he goes for a heel hook, and Curtis is just a savvy vet, man. He gets out of it. He ends up on top. Round 2 comes around. Curtis, more body work. He's still working the body. Left hook, and then a lead hook to the body. So he's southpaw. He's fighting southpaw. His right hand's forward. So he throws a left hook and then a lead hook to the body. And then he shifts to the outside. You don't see much footwork like that in mixed martial arts unless you're watching Fiziev or Volkanovski, Izzy, those kind of guys. Cyril Gane does it. So it was really cool to see this lower level guys doing it. And no offense to Chris, but he's not ranked, so we're going to call him lower level. And then it was beautiful. The finish was amazing. So Curtis comes in. It was like a rock'em sock'em robot, just powering up each punch. He throws the jab and then goes to the body with a huge right. So it's boom, and then the right, boom. And then another huge right. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He throws the jab to the body. I'm sorry. Boom. And then a huge right over top. Boom. Curtis wobbles. Brendan Allen's like, he's done it again. Because remember, he was getting beat in that Phil Hawes fight before he knocked him out. And sure enough, a knee as Allen was trying to survive, and the ref calls it off. Game over. Alex Morono and Mickey Gall. I was taking notes on this fight. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a great fight. Alex Morono looked great against Cowboy, and then this just got ugly. He's just swinging wild and stuff, and I don't want to talk about it. It's Mickey Gall. I like Alex Morono. He's come on the podcast before, but it's Mickey Gall, and yeah, I don't know. Zhalgas Zumagala versus Manel Kopp. I don't know how to say his name actually, so I'm going to call him Z. So Kopp suffered in his first 2 UFC fights with starting out slow. So he comes in, he fights Pantoja. They throw him right to the wolves. It was great, though, to see him get there, and he looked good. He won the 3rd round, but he just started off way too slow. Same thing happened in his 2nd fight, but in his 3rd fight against Ode Osborne, flying knee. Looks like he got his mojo back, right? Well, he got it back. He comes out, a knee to the body and a left. But Z, I'm going to call him Z. Z's pushing forward, but Kopp keeps finding the check hook. Z gets caught with a right, or Z catches him with a right, and he stuns him. So he's coming with this pressure, and Kopp's kind of just backing up, and he's fine to back up, but it's not going to win him a fight like that unless he actually connects. And Manel Kopp can connect. He can put your lights out. He's getting tagged occasionally, and Z starts to slow down midway through the round because he's tired, obviously. And Kopp lands a straight right and left hook and knocks Z down. Z's trying to get up and survive against the fence, and then Kopp just like a Street Fighter 20 punch combo. It was lovely. And then opening up the main card, you had Vince Morales and Luis Smolka. Morales is working high and low. I really like what Morales does. He works the body well too. It's one of those guys that does that. Comes over the top, and Smolka just falls dead. he just drops. It's like he unplugged the PC and it just died. So yeah, Vince Morales got the win there. It was really fun. Good night of fights though. I really enjoyed it. Tune in Wednesday. We've got a preview of UFC 269, 270, something like that. Whatever number it's on. Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira. We're talking about that, and Amanda Nunes beating up another girl. Because that's going to happen. Even though Sean says he doesn't, she has a chance to lose this. I don't think so. Sorry, bro. Yeah, so get at me on Twitter, Blaine Henry TFL. And if you want to support the podcast, become a friend of the podcast, whatever you want, Patreon. Career rewatch with Khabib coming Monday. Later.